Hello? Hello. It is the start of a new year, which is always exciting. A new year to me represents a fresh start, cleaning, decluttering, purging. I spent like 3 hours the other day cleaning all of my email inboxes, and it felt so satisfying hitting that delete all button in my trash can and blasting, I shit you not, like 5,000 emails. That's bad. I had emails in there from like 2012, 2011, and I feel like a weight has just been lifted off my shoulders. So today I'm back with a declutter because this month and next month I really want to tackle organizing this office, and the only way that I can do that is by decluttering all of my makeup. You guys have seen me declutter all of my lip products, but after that I kind of stopped with the declutters and I'd like to pick up where I left off and get through all of the categories. So if you missed those videos, I will put them somewhere on the screen as well as the description box below. Today I'm gonna tackle my highlighters. I don't think I have a lot of highlighters, but we will see once I gather them all together. I obviously still want to do foundations, blushes, eyeshadows, concealers, powders. There's a whole plethora of things that I can declutter. I can even do nail polish because that is taking up a lot of room in my little makeup closet next to me. It's all got to get done, and if you guys enjoy these videos, then I might even do decluttering like my closet videos, decluttering my pantry. I basically need to go through this entire house and organize everything because I've been putting it off for a really long time. And I'm the type of person who cannot work in a disorganized, messy environment. Like before I sit down to film, I clean my office, I clean all of my brushes. Even if I'm not doing a makeup tutorial, my desk needs to be clean, and those days where my desk is a disaster and I'm filming, I can feel it, you know? I'm like scatterbrained, like today, there's shit all over my desk. I'm really not happy about it, but I had to film this intro, and I think it'll be good for the both of us because you guys enjoy watching declutters and I desperately need to declutter everything in my life. So with that being said, let's get into this declutter video. And if you guys like declutters, please give this video a thumbs up. I'm just gonna do my outro now because I know myself, and after I declutter everything, I'm not gonna wanna jump back on camera to say bye. So thank you guys very much for watching and for subscribing and staying subscribed. And let's get into it. Okay, I am both shocked and appalled at myself. Like, who even am I? This entire bag here consists of highlighters. You know, for a girl that claims she's not all about the highlighter, the blending highlight, you know, overly highlighting your face, I got a lot of fucking highlighters. This is insane. So I think I'm gonna do pretty well with this declutter, to be honest, because I use maybe like a handful of these on a regular basis. At least that's what I'm trying to tell myself, because I want to do really well in this declutter and I want to get rid of like half of this stuff. So I'm just gonna set up the camera and organize everything on my rug. I don't know, maybe by category or finish or brand. Haven't decided yet, but while I'm at it, if you guys have been watching my vlogs, a little Dyson update. I just vacuumed this area to prep for this video, and I gotta tell you that Dyson is the greatest thing we've ever purchased, and I can't believe how much shit was inside of this rug a minute ago. Sometimes the rug looks clean, but you just don't know what's buried in there, and the Dyson showed me that. Okay, less talking, more organizing. Okay, I'm gonna start in this top left corner here. These are all of my highlighter palettes. Starting with this top one, this is the Makeup Revolution Face Quad in the iridescent shade. I've kept a sleeve on this because otherwise I wouldn't know the name of it. There's no name on the back. This is a more recent purchase, so I'm definitely gonna keep this. I'm absolutely loving these. They are very intense, but if you're not like an intense highlight kind of gal, you can still get away with a very light and natural application application. Let me just swatch them for you real quick. There they are. I tend to use the top and the second to last shade the most. Sometimes when I'm tanned, I can get away with that golden shade, and I haven't been able to use the bottom shade yet, but what I like about these is you can use them as eyeshadows as well. I like to use these wet in the inner corner of my eyes or like my brow bone. So I'm gonna keep them. Next up, I've got another Makeup Revolution highlighter. This is the Soph collaboration. I really like this one. I use it often. I'm definitely gonna keep this. I will swatch this for you as well. My most used shades would be this one right here, a little bit of this gold one, this one here. I actually quite like this purple one and this pink one. I'm not usually into color highlighters, but these are so subtle and beautiful, especially if I'm wearing cool tone sort of pinky blush or more of a mauve blush. This looks really gorgeous on top. Sometimes I use them as blush toppers. And let me just do a quick swatcheroo. Can't really see them too well, but the top 4 are the top row, the bottom 4 are the bottom row. This shade right here, I can actually get away with using it kind of like a bronzer sometimes, or mix it in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I haven't been able to use this one as a highlighter. I'm definitely going to use it as eyeshadow. You definitely don't need that many highlighters, but if you're a highlighter person, this is a really great option, and it's super affordable, so I'm gonna keep it. This is another recent purchase. This is the Flower Beauty Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. It's newer to my collection. It is an intense highlight, but because it's so smooth, you can actually get away with a natural application. If you love intense highlights, you're gonna love this palette because you can definitely build this up to one of those blinding highlights. If you're like me and you like more of a natural, subtle look, you can still get away with using this palette. I especially enjoy this shade here. It's like a beautiful champagne. It's one of the only highlights, aside from my Mary Luminizer, that I've been able to use on the bridge of my nose. I'm definitely gonna keep this. It also comes with a little applicator brush, but I don't ever use that, so I just kind of tossed it aside. Next up, I've got my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. In this palette, we've got Dim Light, Iridescent Light, and Radiant Light. I normally keep this in my professional makeup kit. I don't really know why it's out, but I'm gonna keep this. It is a beautiful palette for bridal. What I normally do is I will use this shade all over the face for a natural, healthy glow to the skin. I don't apply too much, but it just gives the skin like an extra little oomph. And then this middle shade I use on the cheekbones, and this bronzy shade I use to sort of enhance or give a little bit of a glow to the bronzer that I've used on the bride. If you're a professional makeup artist, you probably have this in your kit. It's super versatile. It's just awesome. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Illuminating Palette in the shade Catwalk Pink. When I first picked this up, I was excited about it because, you know, it's got 4 different shades in it. I figured this one would be really nice. This one here looked gorgeous. I've actually only used this on my face a couple times. I wasn't a huge fan. I ended up just using it on my eyes as eyeshadow, and I preferred that method. This shade is just, like, look at this. These are really, really dry. The only reason that I was able to make them work as eyeshadows is because I wet them. So for that reason, I'm out. I'm gonna let this one go. I'm not gonna pass it on. It's just gonna go in the trash because it's just not very good.
12 o'clock midnight.
Oh my god, I'm editing this and I realized I completely forgot to mention this Nicole Guerrero Anastasia Beverly Hills collaboration. This was a highlighting palette from a few years ago. I found it up on my shelf somewhere because it wasn't in my makeup closet with everything else. I picked this up myself. Nicole was one of the first YouTubers that I ever watched, and when I first saw this palette, it really tickled my fancy. While it's a beautiful palette and these highlighters have really insane pigmentation. Like, I think they're super pretty. There's the top row. I find that they're a little bit difficult to work with when I've used this on clients. They have a lot of glitter in them, and the glitter falls all over the face, which can kind of mess up the foundation a little bit. On the far right, I have the bottom row. Like, these are absolutely gorgeous, but I can only use a couple of them as actual highlighters. The rest I use as eyeshadows on the body, because using these on the face, especially with like the huge chunks of glitter in them, is kind of like a glitter bomb disaster, especially if I'm going for a matte look. If I'm going for a glowy look and my client is okay with glitter, it's not a problem, but most of the time I find it super annoying in photographs of clients to see their entire face twinkling because I've used this on them. So aside from that, I think it's a gorgeous palette and I'm definitely gonna keep it. I also forgot to include my Laura Mercier Face Illuminator Powder in the shade Indiscretion. I remember when I first picked this up, I was super pumped about it because, I mean, look at it. I just absolutely love the shape of this highlighter, the print on it. It's just magical. I'm gonna keep this one as well. There it is on my middle finger. Let me just swatch that on my hand. I've swatched it to the left of the Nicole Guerrero highlighters. I've gotten away with wearing this when I'm like super self-tanned. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to editing now. Hopefully I don't find any other highlighters in this room. This is why I'm doing declutters, by the way, because this room is an absolute disaster and shit is just everywhere. Irina from the future signing out. Oh my god, we are about to hit throwback territory. This whole row, you can't see the end of this row because it's underneath my camera. This whole row is like the Beauty Vault circa 2010, maybe 2009. I have had these for so long. I know that they're gonna go in the trash. Were you really into makeup if you didn't have these shimmer bricks from Physicians Formula back in the day? I think not. These are ancient. I don't even know why I still have these. Honestly, I only ever use these as eyeshadows. Every time I would try to use these as highlighters, I would just look like a disco ball, muddy mess. I think back in the day, people were comparing these to the Bobbi Brown shimmer bricks. Like, what are these even called? I called them shimmer bricks, but they're not shimmer bricks. They're shimmer strips for custom bronzer, blush, and eyeshadow. We've got Vegas strip, which is intense and golden, and then we've got Waikiki strip, which is more of like a peachy, bronzy tone. I would never recommend to use either of these as bronzer or highlighter, or if we're honest, even blush. These made great eyeshadows, but that's about it. Should these even really be in a highlighter declutter? Probably not, but I would attempt to use them as highlighters. So to me, they were highlighters and they're going in the trash because God only knows what kind of germs are in these two. Next up, we've got the Smashbox Fusion Soft Light in Baked Stardust. This is also ancient. I bought this years and years ago online. Same kind of concept, except it's in a pie shape with slices. I wasn't impressed with this product even back in the day. It didn't have a lot of shimmer to it. It was just super powdery and weird. So I'm gonna toss it. They used to make some really great fusion soft light shades. I kind of stopped buying highlighters and bronzers from Smashbox because they discontinued everything I love. So I'm gonna toss this. Okay, I was gonna work my way down, but then I realized I have another Smashbox, no pun intended, item to my right. Smashed the shit out of this, but I used to love this highlighter back in the day. This was my jam. This was probably my gateway drug to highlighter way back in the day. I used to use this as like a blush topper. I'm embarrassed to even swatch that because it doesn't look like anything. I've moved on to bigger and better things, you know? These next few products are from Lise Wattier. They were all sent to me at different times. One of them was sent to me a very long time ago, like when I first started the Beauty Vault. This one down here, so I'm definitely gonna toss it. I have a feeling I'm gonna toss this one too, but I really did like this one. Before I throw them to the side, I just wanna show you them. This one is their Celestial Light Powder in the shade Aurora. I remember really liking this when I got it. It's actually quite pretty. Let me just do a little swatch. I might actually keep this one. I know I shouldn't, you know? Can't even really see it. It's very natural. It's got kind of like a peachy sheen to it. You know what? I shouldn't keep it. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna put it in my sister-in-law's pile because it's not that old. I'm really trying to downsize in the highlighter department, so we're just gonna toss this in the sister-in-law pile. This one here is called their Illuminating Powder in something French. I'm not even gonna try butchering this. This is more like a bronzer, to be honest. I think I used this a couple of times to give it a try, but I don't know. It was a little deep for my skin tone, so for that reason I'm gonna toss it, and because it's old and I just know I'm never gonna use it. This is a golden shimmer gel by them from a really long time ago. I might keep this for the memories and for Halloween because it's actually quite pretty. I'm so surprised that this hasn't dried out yet. This is literally just a shimmer gel with gold flakes throughout it. I feel like it would look really pretty on the face if I were to do like a Greek goddess look or, I don't know, something majestic. I'm just having a really hard time parting with it because I remember when I got it, I was super excited about it and I loved it. Sometimes I like to keep at least 1 or 2 items for the memories. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile and decide at the end of this video. How about that? I don't actually get a lot of things sent to me in PR, which I don't mind because I really like buying my own products, but when I do get sent stuff, I'm very thankful. And when I'm sent stuff from Pixie, I am extra thankful because I just absolutely love their brand. I always end up using their products either on myself or in my professional makeup kit, so that always helps. These two here were sent to me in PR and they are gorgeous. These are very, very intense highlights. This one here is Subtle Sunrise, super pretty. You gotta see these on the skin. They are out of this world intense. I don't think I could ever really get away with wearing this for like an everyday look. These are so gorgeous on the eyes, on the collarbone, on the tops of the shoulders when you're a little bit tanned or self-tanned. If I use a really fluffy brush and just sort of tap my cheekbones, especially with this sort of champagne-y shade here, it looks gorgeous. This one's a little bit too deep for me. I'm gonna keep this one. And in case you're curious, here's the swatch of those. Just really freaking intense. And then we've got the shade Delicate Dew. I really like this kind of like rose gold champagne shade on this side. This one again is a little bit deep for me, but I like to use it on my eyes. This is just probably the most intense formula that I own. And you know what? Let me put the other two on these fingers so you can see them all side by side. There's all 4 of them side by side. Super gorgeous. I'm gonna keep that one as well. And here they are swatched beside the other 2 that I did. I'm eventually gonna swatch all this shit and put it on my website. I feel like swatch sections specifically on a website really help when you're at the store and you need to reference something. Sometimes it's hard to go to somebody's video and fast forward it to the part where they're swatching and, you know, like wasting all your data in the middle of the store. So for that reason, I would really like to have a swatch section on my website this year. Anyway, like I said, I'm keeping this. Next up, I've got this little shimmer brick from Makeup Revolution. I'm really disappointed in myself because I picked this up a really long time ago when I first discovered Makeup Revolution, and I can't tell you one time that I've actually worn this on my face. I've swatched it a bunch, but I've never worn it on my face. This is in the shade Radiant. These are really freaking pretty. I would use these as eyeshadows. I'd probably use these 2 here for highlight, maybe this one for highlight as well. This is what those 2 shades look like together, and if I were to do all of them, that's what that looks like. Don't really like to mess them all up though. Like every time I do that, I end up going back in and cleaning it up. They're very shimmery and beautiful, and if nothing else, I'll probably just wear them as eyeshadows and be happy as a clam. I'm keeping this. Moving on to my 3 Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powders. I remember when these first came out, I was super excited about them. I'm gonna keep all 3 of them. I think they're gorgeous. I use them on my eyes sometimes as well. This one here is perfect when I'm super fair or when I'm wearing a pink blush. Just complements pink blush perfectly. This one is called Blossom Glow. I'm gonna keep it. Then we've got Golden Flower Crown. This one's really pretty when I'm tanned. Of course, I have to apply it super light-handedly because they're pretty intense. I'm gonna keep this one as well. And then we've got Precious Petals. This is more of like a pinky rose gold, kind of like a NARS Orgasm sort of feel to this one. I'm gonna keep it as well. And let me just show you them side by side. Blossom Glow on top, Golden Flower Crown after that, and then Precious Petals on the bottom. Moving on to my kind of like everyday champagne or golden toned highlighters. I need to put a dent in these ones. I think I use maybe 4 out of all of these. Let's start out with the Hard Candy So Baked bronzer in the shade Tiki. This was all the rage years and years ago. I used to love this back in the day. I think this was a repurchase because I smashed the shit out of my first one. I kind of want to keep it, but I just don't think that I have a use for it. That's what it looks like. It's kind of powdery. When you apply it to the cheek, it's very subtle. I don't know if you can even see that. I haven't used it in so long, so the rational thing to do is toss it. It's super old too. We're gonna part ways. This here has got to be like the worst product in the bunch. I don't know how it ended up in my collection. I kind of want to say that it was sent to me. This is the Prismatic highlighter in the shade Iridescent Pearl Powder. This is terrible. It's a chalky mess. There's nothing highlighting about this. Look at it. It looks like Kind of looks like some different type of powder, if you know what I'm saying. So for that reason, we're gonna toss it. Oh boy, this is an oldie but a goodie. I'm gonna keep this for that reason. MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, soft and gentle. Oh my god, this is in the old packaging too. I'm pretty sure I have a new one in the new packaging in my professional makeup kit. This is for personal use. I love this. It's not the most subtle highlight. It does have little chunks of glitter in it, but I quite like that, especially on the body. I use this on my brides, and I'm telling you, it works universally on every skin tone. Every bride that I've ever applied this on has been super happy with their glow. Here's what that looks like above that Hard Candy Tiki bronzer. People used to say that the Tiki bronzer was a dupe for Soft and Gentle. I don't know if I'd go that far. Soft and Gentle is something special. While Hard Candy Tiki was nice, it was nowhere near as beautiful as Soft and Gentle. So I'm gonna keep this one. Next, I've got the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter in the shade Be My Highlight. I absolutely love this. This is a gorgeous drugstore highlighter. If you don't have this and you're on a budget and you're looking for a subtle everyday highlight, this is gonna be your best friend. When you first apply this to your cheekbone, you're like, oh, that's it. And then you turn your face to the side and it's like, boom, there it is. You know, I'm gonna keep this one. I love it. Can't say the same for this Essence So Glow Cream to Powder Highlighter. This is in the shade Look on the Bright Side. I wanted to love this so bad when I got it, but it's just such a crappy product. So it's cream, rub it into your skin, and it's supposed to turn into a powder. Cream to powder type products just look really shitty on the skin in my opinion. You blend them to oblivion and then they disappear. This hi, Irina editing this video. I misspoke here and I meant to say that it was a similar shade to one of my MAC products, but I said dupe by accident. So I'm here to clarify that. Okay, bye. For the MAC cream color base in the shade Pearl Frost, similar shade. MAC one didn't blend out to a powder finish. I would normally use it on the eyes, kind of like a base. Sometimes I'd use it on the cheekbone as a highlight. I would tap it on. When I saw this one, I was like, oh wow, it's like a less expensive alternative for the MAC one, because I don't even know if they make this one anymore. I was just as disappointed with the Essence one as I was the MAC one. So for that reason, I'm gonna say see you later to both of these. The good old Mary Luminizer by The Balm. This thing and I have been through some things together. She has been through hell and back. I have smashed the shit out of this highlighter so many times and put it back together, and you know what? She's still here. She's killing it. This to me is the perfect highlighter in the entire world, especially for my skin tone, especially for the type of highlight that I like. It is absolutely beautiful. It's this very soft, beautiful champagne shade. It doesn't make me look textured. It doesn't make me look porous, which is very easy to do because I have very large pores. I'm an oily person. Mary Lou gives me a subtle highlight. She gives me a dramatic highlight if I'm in the mood, which is very rare. It's just perfect. I absolutely love using this on the bridge of my nose, my inner corners, my brow bone, Cupid's bow. Anytime I use a different highlighter to highlight my nose, you guys notice. So I'm gonna keep her. I love her. If you haven't tried her, don't sleep on her. She is all that in a bag of chips. The coolest thing since sliced bread. The bee's knees. I could go on all day. You let me know. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter in the shade Champagne. When I first saw this, I was so pumped about it. I'm gonna be honest, while it packs a punch and it's very pigmented, I think it's too soft of a highlighter for my preference. If you're looking for a blinding highlight, this might be right up your alley because it'll blind the shit out of you. Okay, it might also bring out a lot of texture in your skin because it does have a little bit of that glitter in it. That right there is that butter highlighter over top of the Mary Luminizer. It's very golden, it's very bright. I'm gonna keep it because I want to use it as eyeshadow, but I don't think that I will be using this as a highlight again. When you are working with these butter highlighters, you gotta press them into your skin using your fingers. I would not recommend using a brush. I would recommend maybe using like a damp beauty blender and kind of bouncing that beauty blender on your cheekbones, but I find with a brush, you apply way too much and it looks crazy and you get texture city, okay? So I'm gonna keep this, but I'm not gonna use it as a highlighter. I might explore other shades. I saw one, it's a little bit more champagne-y, a yellow undertone. I might give that one a try, but this one has kind of scared me. Moving on to my e.l.f. highlighter. It's in the shade Moonlight Pearls. I like this stuff. Champagne shade, you can't go wrong with like a $3 highlighter. This is, I wouldn't say like a cool toned version of the Mary Luminizer. It's a little bit peachy. Mary Lou is a little bit more yellow. It's on the very bottom of my hand. Mary Lou's in the middle, Physicians Formula formulas on top, a very subtle highlighter, but if you wet it, you could go like balls to the wall with this and get a blinding highlight. From what I've read online, a lot of people scrape off the top layer of this first before they go into it and get like that really hardcore pigmentation. I don't think I've done that yet, and it worked out fine for me. Maybe if I were to scrub the shit out of that first layer, I'd get something a little bit more impressive than what I have on my hand right now, but I like it just the way it is, so I'm gonna keep this. Oh boy, this is like the fossil of my makeup collection, okay? I remember when I purchased this, I had made a really huge e.l.f. order. This here is an e.l.f. blush in the shade Gotta Glow, but it's actually not a blush. Back in the day, they repackaged their blushes to look like NARS blushes, and this I thought was gonna be very similar to NARS Albatross. Do you guys remember that highlighter by NARS? I don't know if they still make it. It's the same shade as this, but an actual highlighter. This is more of a powder. I'm gonna toss it. I remember when I picked this up, I thought I was gonna get an Albatross dupe, and boy did I get duped. I have had this since I worked in retail, a very, very long time. I think I got this with my gratis. I wanna say like 10 years now. This is a Benefit, like what even is this? Highlighter and bronzer duo. I think the name of it was 10. I don't remember. It's so freaking old. It's one of these little boxes. Highlighters on this side, the bronzers on this side. I kept it because I love their little boxes. I used to love their marketing and their packaging and their componentry. Can't tell you the last time that I used this, and it's old AF, so I'm gonna toss it. I can't believe how close I am to being finished. We've got these products here. I got some cream stuff here, and then we're done. These here are NYX Duochromatic Illuminating Powders. These were sent to me in PR. I don't really know how I feel about these. One of them came broken, and the one that came broken and I put back together, I actually think is really neat, and I'm gonna keep it. It's kind of like a blue-green iridescent shade. I'm not big into colored highlighters like the pinks and the purples and the blues and the greens. I am very vanilla when it comes to my highlight, but I can appreciate this because this is just very beautiful. It's neat. It's unlike anything I own. For that reason, I'm gonna keep this one. This is in the shade Twilight Tint. I don't know that I'll ever wear it on my face, but I know one thing, I'm definitely gonna wear it on my eyelids. I think this would be really pretty as an eyeshadow topper. If I wanna give it kind of like a bluish green iridescent sheen, I think it would just look beautiful over a matte brown eyeshadow. Could you imagine? This one here is called Snow Rose. It's similar to Twilight Tint, but it has more of like a reddish purple iridescent undertone. You can kind of see that it's kind of pinky. I would use this as a blush topper. I would, but that doesn't mean that I will. Actually a little bit more powdery than Twilight Tint, so I think I'm gonna pass this one on to my sister-in-law if she wants it. You can see it underneath Twilight Tint there. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pass that on to my sister-in-law. And then I've got Synthetica, Crushed Bloom, and Lavender Steel. I haven't even opened these two because I knew that they were not up my alley and I probably would never use them, and I would pass them on to my sister-in-law if she wants them, so that's what I'm gonna do. This one in the shade Synthetica I think is really freaking pretty, and I would likely use this as a blush topper in the spring and summer when I'm wearing a really peachy shade. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I might even get away with wearing this as blush on its own if I use like a really light hand. There it is on top of Twilight Tint, so I think I'm gonna keep this one for now. Here I've got a couple MAC pigments that I actually really love using as highlighter. I'm gonna keep both of them, but I just wanted to show you them swatched. The shade Naked, and then I've got Blonde's Gold. I like to use these obviously on the eyes as well. As highlighters, these are incredible. This one here is Naked. It does have a little bit of shimmer in it. The camera I already know is not gonna do this justice. Got it swatched on my hand here. Oh my god. Can we just talk about this for a second? Tell me that's not the prettiest thing you've ever seen. Just a little bit of this on your collarbone. Oh my god. And then let me just quickly swatch Blonde's Gold. This is great for olive skin tones, deeper skin tones, or just on the eyes. There it is swatched underneath Naked. Let me try something real quick. I feel like I should have done this for all of the swatches. How pretty is that? Yeah, anyway, I'm keeping both of those. And then we've got a pile of like cream type highlighting product. Let me start out with this Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Moonlight. I actually got this as a points perk with my Sephora order. I think this is just the cutest little component. I love tiny things. I keep all tiny things. I'm not usually like a liquid highlight or cream highlight type of gal, but I think I'm gonna give this a whirl because it's a really beautiful shade and I just can't get enough of this componentry. It's so cute and tiny. Look at the little dropper. Tell me that's not the most precious little thing you've ever seen. So I'm gonna put this in my keep pile. I think it's really pretty. Next, I've got 2 of these Benefit High Beams from way back in the day when I worked in retail. I think these were both gratis. They are very old. They are definitely expired. I would just tap this on my cheekbones and head out the door. They were one of the first liquid highlights that I ever owned. Anyway, great memories, but they've got to go. Next, I've got my MAC Strobe Cream. This is definitely expired. This is so freaking old. I used to keep this in my professional makeup kit. I would rub this all over my brides, like their collarbones, their arms, sometimes their cleavage. I would sometimes mix it into foundation if they wanted like a really dewy look. This was a staple in every makeup artist's kit. It's kind of like an iridescent subtle shimmer. The camera is definitely not doing it justice, but I'm gonna toss it because it's old and expired. It does bring back very fond memories of doing bridal makeup every weekend. Holy moly, we got 3 more products. We're almost done. This is the Catrice Liquid Luminizer Strobing Pen. I think this may have been sent to me. This is in the shade Ready for Champagne. I'm definitely gonna toss this. It's way too deep for my skin tone. The first time I swatched this, I just thought it was way too thick. It's coming out like molasses right now. It's taking forever. I'm gonna toss this. I don't see myself ever using this. This is an e.l.f. cream or gel highlighter. I don't quite remember. I think I ordered this online. And I might keep this because I feel like I haven't fully given it a chance and I see potential here. It's not too thick. It's not too intense. I feel like I could wear this every day. I feel like this would look pretty underneath that other e.l.f. highlight that I showed you. That little baked one, I feel like would look really pretty over top of this. If I don't use this more than a handful of times in the next 6 months, it's gonna go too. And last but certainly not least, this is the Dermablend Glow Creator Multi-Use Liquid Highlighter in the shade... What shade is this? Pearl. Dermablend used to be a part of Vichy. Like Vichy had a Dermablend line under their brand, at least when I worked in retail. I'm not sure when things changed over. I feel like I'm so out of touch with what the hell's going on in beauty. This looks like a really intense highlighter. I haven't really given the product a read through so that I know exactly how to use it. Apparently 1 drop will give you a minimum amount of highlight and 2 drops will give you a maximum amount of highlight. You can probably mix this in with your foundation and stuff like that. It says that it has 20% pigmented pearls in it. Let's just give this a little swatcheroo. I'm gonna keep it because I haven't tried it and I want to give it a whirl first. I feel like this is what High Beam probably wanted to be back in the day. Oh wow, that's intense. It kind of blends out to like a powdery finish. Huh. I thought it was gonna be way more intense than this, and I was kind of worried about that because, you know, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I don't really like intense highlights. I don't know if I told you that. Did I tell you that? I think I might have told you that a couple times. Yeah, so this actually is kind of promising. If I try it and I don't reach for it more than like a handful of times, I will pass this on to my sister-in-law. All right, so this is the conclusion. On the left-hand side, I've got the stuff that I'm getting rid of. Going in the trash, I've decided I'm just gonna throw this Lise Watier one out. I know that I'm not going to use it and it's old, and I don't think Halloween is a good enough excuse to keep this glittery, flaky gold stuff. I really wanted to keep it, but it's so old I shouldn't put it on my face anyway. Down here, I've got a few products that I'm going to pass on to my sister-in-law, and over to my right are all of the products that either I know that I love and I'm going to keep, or I want to give another shot and I'm going to keep, or I've never tried and I'm going to keep. So I think I actually did pretty good. Garbage, passing on, keeping. What do you guys think? I think I did pretty good. With that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and staying subscribed, and I'll see you in my next one. Okay, love you, bye.